Hi, my name is Sue, and this video is about a new app for the iPhone and iPod Touch called Proloquo2Go. An app is a little program that allows you to use an iPhone or iPod Touch as a communication device. Proloquo2Go has been available since April of 2009. Here's their website, Proloquo2Go.com, and they have a lot of helpful resources. They have a downloadable manual and some pages about basic use. They also have some great introductory videos. Here's the page that shows resources and a page that has links to different videos. There's also an active discussion group where people can get information from experienced users and even the developers of Proloquo2Go. Some of the frequent questions that come up are how to decide whether to use Proloquo2Go, what size iPod to buy, and whether an iPhone or an iPod Touch was better. Even though there is a website page that talks about those things, some of the people asking don't have any experience with an iPod Touch or an iPhone. I thought it might be helpful to actually have a video that shows some of these things. I want to mention that I'm not speaking officially for Proloquo2Go or for Assistiveware. I am speaking as the mom of a daughter with multiple disabilities. She's been using Proloquo2Go since early this year when we became pre-release testers. I am also a registered nurse with additional education and experience in growth and development and care of people with disabilities. The first step is kind of to look at the iPod or iPhone in general. And you need certain skills to use it. One is touch and release, which you use both to get places, like get to the first screen, and also to open things. Another skill is swiping or scrolling. And you'll see I have a lot of icons on my iPod screens. Each one is an app or a little program, and I have many pages of apps. You need to scroll to get from page to page, and then you need to touch and release to open things, which I'm opening up Proloquo2Go. The page that I'm starting on is the activities category. And there are a lot of categories and activities programmed already in Proloquo2Go. This category is specifically the bubble blowing activity. Some categories have more than one screen of choices, so you need to be able to scroll up and down to access the choices. You need to be able to touch and release to make a choice. And for some things, you need to be able to touch and hold. That allows you to access some of the advanced features, such as verb tenses, which pop up when you touch and hold. The grid size on my iPod is called normal. There are also other sizes for people who might do better with a bigger target, either to see or to touch. It's very easy to change the size. I'm not going to show you how to do that. You can find that out on the website. You can see here, this is my daughter's iPod. I put a logo icon for Proloquo2Go right at the bottom where it's available on each page. And I've set up the same Bubbles activity page on her iPod as on mine. But you can see the buttons are about twice as big. This is the large grid size, and this is the normal grid size. It is possible to have buttons as big as the screen or as small as about half the size of normal. Your user might have a preference for size. I think my daughter would do better with the larger one, but she prefers the normal grid, I think because she has to scroll less. You can see here all the choices are on one page. And on this one, I'm going to have to scroll up one page to get everything. Some people are not able to touch with their hands, but use a mouth stick or stylus, either handheld or mouth-held. The website has more information about those kind of options. These are the skills needed to use it independently, but not being able to do them doesn't necessarily mean Proloquo2Go can't be used. My daughter actually has some fine motor skills that make it difficult for her to touch and release, but she's able to point very accurately. So she points at something, and then I can come in and touch and release it for her. Some people use partner-assisted scanning. If I were the partner, I would point at each row, and when I got to the row the person wanted, they would let me know, and at that point I would point to each item in the row until I get to the item they want. So size might not be a problem, and actually being able to touch might not be a problem. Another question that comes up is whether to use an iPod Touch or an iPhone. Both of them can run Proloquo2Go. The first generation iPod did not have a speaker, but the second generation does. This is as loud as my speaker can go. So you can see it's not very loud, and you will need an extra speaker, whatever you choose. The iPhone has a camera, and the newest iPhones also have a video camera. The iPods don't currently have that feature, but every iPod has the ability to load photos on. So you can put photos on either loaded from the internet, which most of these are, or loaded from a camera onto your computer and then put onto the iPod. That's where it would be very handy to have the built-in camera that the iPhone has. That way the camera pictures are loaded directly onto the photo album as they're taken instead of needing the computer. Another question that comes up is whether you can go onto the internet. The iPhone can go on with a phone connection, but the iPhone and the iPod can both have Wi-Fi connections. You can turn it on in the settings menu and use it wherever there's a Wi-Fi network. You want to have it turned off unless you're actually using it. When it's on, it's looking for a connection, which uses battery power quite a bit faster. The iPhones and the iPods, which are running the 3.0 operating system, also have Bluetooth in the general menu, which allows them to connect wirelessly with certain accessories. Right now it's mostly earphones, but it might be speakers in the future. With Bluetooth on, that uses a lot of battery power because it's looking for a connection, so you want to keep that off as much as possible. People also wonder about how much memory is needed. I have a 32 gigabyte iPod, and you can see from scrolling through that I have a lot on mine. I have 1,349 songs, including one full-time movie, and 114 photos, 126 apps, including Proloquo2Go. I still have 18.2 gigabytes available, so I have plenty of space. My daughter has an 8 gigabyte iPod. She has about 400 songs, 170 photos, 40 apps, and still has 5 gigabytes available. So you can see you don't need a large memory to use Proloquo2Go. Base your decision on the size of the things that you want to put in rather than the size of Proloquo2Go. I hope that this was helpful for you, and I will be having some more videos coming up soon. Thank you.